David mentioned, my name is Sadie. I'm a freshman, and this is a spoken word poem I wrote called I Imagine, about being adopted into a white family. As you probably know, there are many things we humans all have in common. The color of our blood, the necessities for survival, the primal response of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. But there's something else, less scientific sounding, that we humans share, and that is imagination. Every human has an imagination. Every person forms mental images in their mind of things not present to the senses or perceived in reality. Imagination is important individually and imperative collectively. We imagine to escape the past, to dream the future, to fantasize about what could, would, should have been, or what could, would, should be. We imagine to envision change and progress as a society. One way in which I often use my imagination is in relation to my being an American Chinese transracial adoptee. To help explain what I mean, allow me to share a poem I wrote in 9th grade about two of my dueling cultural identities. The poem is called What It Feels Like to Be a Banana. You aren't what you look like, and you look like what you're not. A banana, it may look yellow from the outside, but peel it and you will see it is white on the inside. Go to America and you are forgotten or unwanted, the minority rarely in the spotlight, hardly in the media, excluded and attacked for 10 years, then 10 years again, then for forever until repealed many years later. Go to China and you are scolded or pitied, being told you're betraying your culture, abandoning your homeland, having people frown when they realize you are adopted by Westerners, never quite fitting in. Go to a white summer camp, go to a white school, act white, be white, but you are still not white. Celebrate the yellow holidays, speak the yellow language, do yellow, look yellow, but you are still not yellow. You are both Sadie Sadler and Sheng Li Jun, yet you are still neither, never quite fitting in. An outsider to every world, your place undefined, the right place unknown, but hopefully not non-existent. So with that said, I sometimes wonder what it would be like to not feel trapped between two worlds and yet unwelcomed by both. What if I was white? What if my mom were Asian? Would I feel like I belong somewhere? I often use my imagination to contemplate these questions. Moreover, because I was adopted by a single white woman who I proudly and lovingly call my mama, my family is not automatically assumed to be my family. To help illustrate what I mean by this, allow me to share the first half of another piece I wrote, this time in 11th grade. It's formatted like a letter to my mom, and it's called Red Thread. As an ancient Chinese proverb goes, an invisible red thread connects those who are destined to meet, regardless of time, place, or circumstance. The thread may stretch or tangle, but it will never break. Dear Mama, you say we saved each other, me from an unknown destiny and you from inevitable tragedies. I think we did save each other, and maybe we still are. We are a beautiful collision, you and me. The first time you saw my face was in a black and white photo. The first time you saw my body, I was playing with a red ball behind glass. The first time you held my body, we were being watched by 100 strangers in the middle of a consulate. It took us 12 days and 8,000 miles to get home. To outside eyes, we are a mystery. We are atypical, unconventional. We are Jackson Pollock hanging in a museum that is the world. From afar, our complexities can confuse the mind. We are a mismatched pair of colors, misinterpreted by all who pass by. But get up close and our disparate splatters cohere into a beautiful masterpiece of yellow and white. I'm 6 years old, my top eyelashes are growing downwards into my corneas, and I need surgery so I won't have permanent vision damage. As we're in the hospital awaiting the procedure, a nurse asks, "How is she related to you?" We both look up from our Uno game and you reply, "She's my daughter." That question is nothing new. We return to our game. But the nurse presses forward. "I'm going to need proof of your relationship." I look up at you, your eyes dart to the nurse. Your eyebrows furrow as you process her request. Then, in a flash, your confusion turns to anger. With your heart pumping and your face fuming, you stand up and shout, "What proof do you need? I already signed all the paperwork. She's my daughter." Tears begin to roll down my eyes. I'm scared, I'm confused. I don't understand why the nurse does not believe you are my mama. She can't have the procedure until I see her birth certificate, the nurse says. You scream in a furious rage. This is the first time our truth is questioned. I remain in my chair next to our abandoned Uno game as a whirlwind of words are exchanged. An hour later, my godmother arrives at the hospital, birth certificate in hand. My eyes are fixed. We may be a collision, you and me, but some refuse to see our beauty. We must prove ourselves with paperwork, define ourselves with words, since image alone cannot explain us. We must be explained. So, as I illustrate in this piece, my mama and I do not have the privilege of appearing as a typical family. So I sometimes use my imagination to conceive of a world where I don't have to prove my relationships with paperwork, where I can hold my mama's hand in public and not receive looks of perplexity or repugnance, where we aren't something that has to be explained or perceived. But don't get me wrong. Although I may imagine my life different from what it is, in no way do I wish I was anything other than the American, Chinese, transracial adoptee I am. And I know my unique identity already has and will continue to help me create the better future I imagine for myself and for others. Moreover, my experience being a banana has its benefits, like helping me build certain characteristics. And the story of my adoption is not wholly bad, but actually mostly truly beautiful. As I wrote in the second half of Red Thread, but it does not matter what the world thinks, as you, Mama, have taught me so many times. We are mother and daughter. We are a forever family. That is our truth. I may not have been born from you, but you gave me life. As a local government official calls out Sheng Li Jun for Carol Sadler, I walk into the room holding Miss Lu's hand. You step to the front of the room. It's time. Then Miss Lu, the woman who took care of me for the first year of my life, picks me up and hands me to you, the woman who will take care of me for the rest of my life. In the middle of a bleak consulate room with foreign flags, security cameras, and anxious strangers, we find love. I look you straight in the eyes and put my arm around your shoulder as if to say, okay, Mama, you finally got here. Let's go. All the other baby girls are crying and screaming and kicking as they are handed to their parents. Maybe they are scared of the unknown, wary of their fate. But me, I'm more silent, more curious than afraid. Perhaps I can sense the red thread disappearing, our destiny now becoming a reality. Perhaps I know I'm in the arms of someone who cares, who wants me, who loves me. I was at the other end of the red thread and you were at the other. I healed your lonely heart. You kept my heart beating. Mama, we saved each other. I love you. Thank you.